Good day everyone, and welcome to the Museum of Daoism. My name is Luisa Micaela Bernal, and I'll be one of your tour guides today as we explore some fascinating collections and stories that this museum holds. Now, this museum isn't just about objects on display. It's about culture, history, and ideas they represent. Each piece tells a story, and by the end of our tour, I hope you'll see how this story still connects with our lives today. Let's begin our journey with one of the most important figures in Daoism. This great old man you see here is Laozi. Laozi is traditionally regarded as the founder of Daoism and the author of the Tao Te Ching, or the classic of the way and its power. Although we're not sure if he truly lived during the 5th century BCE, his wisdom shaped one of the most influential philosophies in the history. At the time of social disorder and skepticism, Laozi taught that stability could not be found in the government or the human institution, but in the Tao or the way.
You step into a softly lit gallery where Taoist history unfolds across a single wall display. Before you, a panoramic visual captures the dramatic image of a multi-Tao temple. Its ornate golden robes gleaming against a clear sky, a vivid symbol of Taoism's spirituality.
Hello everyone, I am Demeline and I am one of your tour guides today. As you can see here in the picture, this is the handwriting of the word Tao. This theme of life cannot be grasped as a concept. Rather, it is seen through an actual living experience of one's being. As you can see here in the picture, it is represented by the character Tao, which has many meanings, which is way, path, or road. Now in this picture, you can see a person. His name is Kongchu, or you guys most likely to know him as Confucius. Confucius established an ethical, moral, social standard that formed the basis of a way life known as Confucianism.
I'm one of your tour guides. Alright, welcome to Daoism City. Let's take a deep breath and slow down, because that's exactly Daoism teaches us, to flow with life, not to race against it. Daoism began in ancient China. At its core is the Tao, or the way, meaning invisible internal force behind everything in the universe. One key word is the Wu way, meaning not action. Think of a river, calm, steady, and never forcing its path. Daoism teaches us the three treasures: compassion, moderation, and humility.
Hello everyone, I'm Aliyah Samuel. I'm also one of your tour guides here. So you might notice the yin and yang symbol. It's a reminder that opposites like light and dark, effort and rest aren't in conflict, but instead work together to keep life in balance.
Hi, pleasant day everyone. I am Vocal, Sanbao, Shi, treasure, compassion, frugality, and humanity are essential virtues to cultivate. Cultivation and morality. Taoism believe in accumulating merits by performing good deeds and developing personal morality to the benefit of the society, achieve spiritual protection. Ancient talismans are inscribed with Taoist symbol and character representing spiritual power and protection.
Hello everyone, I am one of your tour guides today. I'll be introducing you one of the most important texts in Chinese religion and philosophy, the Tao Te Ching. This text is a central scripture of Taoism, both in its philosophical and religious form. In English, its title is often translated as the classic of the way and Tao. It is also famously known as Lao Tzu's 5,000 words because it is traditionally attributed to the sage Lao Tzu, who lived around the 5th century BC. The book itself, written about 5,000 Chinese characters, filled with wisdom and harmony, balanced in accordance with the Tao or the way. So as we move forward, remember the Tao Te Ching isn't just a book, it's a guide to living simply, peacefully, and in tune with nature.
Hello, I'm Abigail Nam and I am one of your current tour guides for this section. As we finish with the topic of Tao Te Ching, we'll now be moving on to the topic of Zhuangzi, which we also call as the Book of Zhuangzi. The book was written around the 4th and 3rd century BCE by the philosopher Zhuangzhao, who we also call Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi is often remembered as the second great founder of Daoism after Laozi. He created the book to offer an alternative perspective about the social and philosophical norms during his time, while being inspired by the works of Laozi, who he made to be his primary and rock for his philosophy. The Zhuangzi is made up of 33 chapters divided into the inner, outer, and miscellaneous chapters. The inner chapters are said to be or believed to be Zhuangzi's own work, while the outer and miscellaneous chapters were likely written by his followers. One of the lessons within the book with the many lessons from the book is the balance of the yin and the yang, which was presented by Zhuangzi himself to show that everything in life has an opposite and everything in life is related in one way or another, like good and evil, black and white, and joy and sorrows. And as time went on, while Zhuangzi existed as a book, the emperor during the Tang Dynasty declared the Zhuangzi as a sacred scripture with the title of Nanhua Zhenjing, or translated to be True Scripture of Southern Fluorescence. From then on, it became to be a central part of Taoist rituals, meditation, and spiritual practice. And with that, we reach the end of the topic of Zhuangzi, one of the sacred main texts of Daoism. And I'll be passing it along to the next guide who will introduce the next section of the sacred text.
I'm a scholar. Today we're looking at Daoism. It's one of the classic Taoist texts. It's named after Liu or Master Li. But the version we have today was actually put together much later in the 4th century CE by Zhang Shan. So the Li is written in parables, short stories that explore themes like freedom from social needs. So the relativity of knowledge and reflection on the natural order. So compared to the Tao Te Ching or Zhuangzi, the Li is more metaphysical and sometimes even mixes Taoist and Confucian beliefs. So did you know that scholars still debate its authenticity, but most agree it holds valuable Taoist insights and remain an important text for understanding Taoist thought. So next we have Daoism, or it's actually called Daoism. Now this isn't just one book, it's a whole library of Taoist wisdom collected and preserved with the support of Chinese emperors. So inside you'll actually see a lot of philosophical writings and meditation guides to ritual manuals, talisman, and even alchemical texts. So the most complete version we have is the Zhengtong Mansa. It's published in 1445 during the Ming Dynasty with about 1,400 to 1,500 works. So traditionally, it's organized into 3 grupos. So first, we have authenticity, meditation, and philosophy. Next is mystery. This is where the rituals and cosmology comes in. So next we have spirit. This is where the exorcism and talismans comes in. Like in Chinese movies, they actually portray a lot of talismans. So later on, 4 supplements were added to make it even bigger. So altogether, the Daoism shows how both Taoist priests and the Chinese state work to protect and pass down the religious knowledge for generations.
In this section are the most important iconic symbols and tools used in Taoism. First is the iconic yin and yang symbol. It showcases the balance and duality of things. For example, black and white, light and dark, good and bad. Second is the Bagua, or what they call the 8 diagrams. Well, the Bagua forms a foundation in the cosmology of Taoism, and it is often used in practices such as Feng Shui to have the 5-element chart. It showcases the Taoist elements: wood, fire, water, metal, and earth. It maps out the Taoist cycles of generation and control. Then we have the Taiji Toshuo. The Taiji Toshuo sometimes can be seen as the yin and yang, but the Taiji Toshuo represents the complex diagram of supreme polarity in Taoism. Moreover, are the most recognizable mythical creatures in the world, such as the phoenix and dragon. In Taoism, they are sometimes referred to as another variation of the yin and yang, wherein the phoenix represents femininity and the dragon represents masculinity. Lastly, we have the Luo Pan Compass. The Luo Pan Compass uses or evaluates the spiritual energy around your house that can make you know what are the certain or specific places where you should put your furniture, or where you should put a curtain, or where you should put your mirrors. It's just like Feng Shui.
Welcome everyone! Now that you've seen the symbols of Taoism, or also known as Daoism, let us now explore the 2 important practices called temple rituals and ancestral worship. Taoist temples are also known as temple rituals. These are the spiritual hubs filled with chants and incense where priests and devotees perform offerings and ceremonies to seek guidance, blessings, and protection from their deities. Meanwhile, Ancestral worship, it is an honor between the living and the departed, where families light their candles, offering food or paper money, and pray to show respect and gratitude to their ancestors. Together, these rituals are the essence of Taoism, reverence for the divine, harmony with nature, and remembering those who came back.
Good day everyone, I am Wong and I am one of your tour guides for today. We'll be exploring some fascinating Taoist places of worship. Taoist temples called Guan or Daoguan are sacred spaces for prayer, culture, and tradition. Our first stop is White Cloud Temple, Guan in Beijing, the headquarters of the Chanzen School and seat of the Chinese Taoist Association. It remains a vibrant center of rituals and community life. Next is Nanyang Temple in the Wudong Mountains, dramatically built into cliffs with golden statues and 500 lifelike figures of heavenly officials. It's often called Wudong's most spectacular temple. Nearby is Purple Cloud Temple, Zishao Palace, dedicated to Zhenwu, the true warrior deity. It houses centuries-old relics and remains an important ritual site. The temple stands as a symbol of strength and protection, where sacred ceremonies continue to be performed. Finally, we head to the Philippines and the Cebu Taoist Temple, built in 1972 with 81 steps symbolizing Taoist scripture. It blends Chinese architecture with Filipino culture, showing Taoism's reach beyond China.
Thank you, Ron. Now I'm your last speaker for this journey. I'm Zaleta, and I'm here to take you to our last 5 Taoist places of worship. Our first place is Senenchi, located in Sakado, Japan. Built in 1995 in Taiwanese style, it honors the 3 pure ones. It was funded privately to celebrate a Taiwanese man's recovery from illness. Now let's fly to China at the Temple of Supreme Simplicity at Mount Qin located on one of Daoism's sacred mountains. This temple dates back to 1225. Legend says its deity statue was formed from earth carried by birds. In 1532, Emperor Shizong expanded it after successful ritual, renaming it to reflect its divine power. The next one is the Longguan Tai Temple in Shanxi. Tradition holds that Lao Tzu wrote the Tao Te Ching here, making it a birthplace of Taoist thought. The temple features Ming and Qing architecture and sacred sites like the preaching platform and Buzu Cave. Lastly is the City God Temple in Shanghai, China. Built during the Ming Dynasty, this temple honors city gods like Qin Yubo. Over time, the temple became a hub for religious rituals, festivals, and community gatherings. It was closed during the Cultural Revolution, but restored in 1991.
Taoism began in ancient China with Laozi and Zhuangzi, who taught the importance of living in harmony with the Tao or the way of the universe. Over the time, it grew into a both philosophy and a religion, rich with sacred texts, meaningful symbols like the yin and yang, and the rituals that continue to guide Taoist communities today. Taoism has left a deep mark on our culture and society, not only in China but across the world. From art and medicine to governance and daily living, its teaching on balance, simplicity, and respect for nature continue to inspire people in finding peace and purpose in modern life. I want to thank you for joining us today. We hope this journey through Daoism has given you a new insight into its wisdom and timeless traditions. May its message of harmony and balance stay with you as you move forward into your own path.